Hello, everyone. Welcome to New Gen Politics. So, Kristi Noem's in a little trouble this week. Her reputation is being called into question because of some leaked details from her new book called No Going Back. The governor of South Dakota, who is a potential VP pick for Trump, many have propped her up as a good icon for the right, possible vice president, maybe presidential candidate someday. Well, she's in a little bit of trouble because of some things she has said in a book which isn't going over very well. So, according to her book, she describes killing her 14-month-old dog, saying, quote, "We love animals, but tough decisions like this happen all the time on a farm." She said her new dog that was supposed to be a hunting dog was, quote, "less than worthless and untrainable." She then decided to take the dog to a gravel pit where she shot it because she deemed it unworthy to fulfill its purpose. And so her only solution was to kill it, saying this was some sort of tough decision and that it was like the only choice. She had no choice. Quote, "It was not a pleasant job, but it had to be done. And after it was over, I realized another unpleasant job needed to be done." This is directly from the book. Then she went on to kill the family goat, which she called, quote, "nasty and mean." She also led it to the gravel pit, shot it, did not kill it in the first shot, had to go back to her truck apparently to get another shell while this goat's dying in agony, and then shot it again. And then she recounts how her daughter came home and asked where their dog Cricket was, for which she obviously had no good answer. So people are very upset about this, and I think rightfully so, because you don't shoot your dog. You don't shoot your dog for not fulfilling its purpose. Even if it's old and dying, we don't shoot dogs in America. That's not how we handle problems. And she's like, she's writing this and describing this almost as if she's like some tough person who can really handle tough decisions. That's why she should be a politician. That's why she should be vice president. That's why she should be president, because she can handle all the tough decisions, I'm sure. This was not a tough decision. If you have a dog that you do not want anymore for whatever reason, you have a couple options, and most all of them are to give it away in some capacity. Bring it to a shelter, give it to a family member, give it to a friend, look on Facebook Marketplace and maybe see if anybody wants a dog. But basically the last option, and pretty much not an option because it's just not the right thing to do, is just shoot it. She's saying like this dog was supposed to be a hunting dog and it didn't hunt well. It was like too rambunctious. It was untrainable. Whatever her excuses are, it's like the dog's not trained because you're not training it. So first of all, like if the dog isn't being trained, it's your fault. Like you're its owner. And if it can't be trained for whatever reason, it's too unruly. Its behavior doesn't sit well with you, even though you chose the dog in the first place. That's not the dog's fault. It's a dog. You give the dog away. You find a place for it to go where it can get some training or live a better, fulfilling life. You don't put it down, and not in that way, even if you took it to a vet and had put down peacefully like you should. So people right and left are just like, why are you doing this, you crazy lady? Why would you write this in a book? I don't know. It's so silly. And it's calling into question like her morality, clearly, right? Like bragging about this, and then also in the fact that she kills this dog, and then her first initial thought is, what else can I shoot? Like, what is the next thing I can kill? Oh, that goat, that's kind of annoying. Let me go kill that. Let me not think this through at all. Clearly, shoot it once, it misses. I think that in a more extensive article, it said the goat jumped or something out of the way. But basically, it's like you weren't prepared for this. You didn't think this through. It seemed like a very like spur of the moment decision. Clearly, like there's no family discussion here, and then implying like, oh, this is what farmers do. Like, no, farmers are not making random whim decisions for no reason. Like, this is not, you're not living in the 1500s. Like, it wasn't between you and the dog or you and the goat starving to death. Like, you can give the dog away. You can feed it for a couple more days so you can find it a home. Like, let's stop pretending that your life was on the line here and this was like the toughest decision you ever had to make. And so people are like, what is the morality of this person who's willing to do this, right? Do you want this person having dictates over like your sons and daughters going to war? Like, oh, well, they signed up, so, you know, it's their job to die for this country. Like, so we should give them that opportunity. Like, you want someone who with sort of waifing morality to be in charge of decisions like that, to like clearly not think of alternative solutions, clearly not think of the bigger picture, really do things on a whim. Like, is that the kind of candidate you want? And like Republicans, like I get it, she did some good things, that's why they propped her up, but like I imagine a lot of Republicans are going to defend her for this for whatever reason, because again, party means more than anything, right? Like party over person's moral character and beliefs and whatever. So I think that's disgusting, and I think Republicans have a tendency to do that. I mean, both sides do, but in this case, since she's a Republican, I'm sure a lot of establishment Republicans will defend her and still say she's like this amazing VP pick. And I get it, like people do one thing wrong and you want to like dogpile on them, but you could at least ask the question of like, why would you do this? Why would you write this? Like, I hope somebody interviews her and is like what was going through your head when you made this decision to shoot your dog? And so I don't know, like rightfully I think she's kind of out of the VP running. Personally, I would say, I mean, that's my opinion, I wouldn't pick her after this. I mean, even in the book, it's like, oh, if I was a better politician, I wouldn't talk about this. It's like, okay, then what? Like, you know, it's wrong to talk about this. Like, it's clearly, like, you know, it's going to make people upset because in this country, we treat dogs better than other animals. Because there's just a different relationship, like dogs, cats, pets. Like, there's a different relationship between like livestock and like pets. And like, for some reason, you're like degrading a dog to like livestock, or you can just like kill it, and it's like, I don't even know if you're allowed to do that. Like, depends on the area, I guess, and like the animal rights, but like I don't know, can you really just like shoot your dog for no reason, like unprompted? I don't think that's acceptable behavior morally. I don't even know if it's illegal to do that in certain places. Is it illegal to do that in South Dakota? I don't know, like what, but even if it is, like morally, obviously most people are upset about this because it's clearly like the wrong thing to do. Like, there's other options, and she didn't consider the other options. And then like defending it and bragging about it and using it as like an out of touch example of how you're like very strong, you know, because you can make imaginary tough decisions that really were not tough decisions, that didn't have to be made in any way or capacity. If that's like the toughest decision you've like had to make, like clearly you're not making tough decisions. I don't know how much I trust you to make tough decisions. If this is like the pinnacle of your level of stress. Anyways, belaboring the point, right? We treat dogs better in this country. We have a special relationship with dogs and cats, pets in general. Clearly she doesn't think so. But from an optics perspective, most people believe that. Like, we have special privileges for animals that we see as pets. There's a higher consciousness. There's more of a bonding we have in this country with animals. And so I don't understand why she would make this public and like write a book about it. It seems really out of touch. And even like the people who are going to defend her over this, like, I'm not saying we have to cancel her, get rid of her as governor, but like you can still like a person, you can still support them as a candidate, but you still have a moral obligation to say, I have an issue with this one thing you're doing, or this one thing you did. Please don't do it again. Please don't brag about it. Please don't encourage other people to do it. So I'm not saying like she's awful and get rid of her and whatever, but like, don't accept people's like bad points and bad perspectives. Don't tear them all down for one thing they've done in the past or one mistake they've made, but don't fully accept somebody and forgive mistakes that did not need to be made. Like, you can very clearly say, I have a problem with this thing you said, a problem with this thing you did, and I think we're going to get extremes on this, like either like burn her at the stake or she can do no wrong. I think that's kind of going to be the two options here. And I think most people are, because of our relationship with the animals, the love we have for dogs, are going to burn her at the stake. So that's my perspective on this, my opinion. I wonder what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments below, like, how you feel about this. Do you think it's that big a deal? Do you think it's not that big a deal? Would you still choose her as like a vice presidential candidate or even a possibility? Please let me know all that down in the comments below. I look forward to seeing your discussion. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.